It is clear these motherfuckers have engaged in wiping us the fuck out. And whether folks try to align themselves with the mayor, the city council, Isaac Bryan, Akila Weber, it's clear they are fulfilling the agenda of white supremacists. Isaac Bryan and Akila Weber doing what they doing as far as the whole reparations shit is coming straight from Gavin Newsom. So all of you Negroes who on one hand want to talk about white supremacy and patriarchal and all this other bullshit, but y'all aligning yourselves with these Negroes who are filling this white supremacist patriarchal fucking agenda, stop it. Y'all have been exposed, and yeah, they clearly give more reach on these platforms to those who are pushing this or that side of these white agendas. We're getting freezed out from our own black media. But one of our brothers pointed out to me in his wisdom, he was like, people ain't listening to that shit. No matter how much money they throw behind that shit, how much they try to make it seem like they are the voice of black people, folks ain't listening to that shit. Even as much as I've been shadow banned, he was pointing out to me some of my numbers, which I'm not doing this shit for numbers. My primary focus, like I said, is to get us to change our fucking behavior. And as low numbers as I get on these social platforms, some way, somehow, I'm finding folks out here are in agreement and moving in similar directions that getting off these democratic plantations is a must. But the other primary thing I was sharing, those of y'all that are just now joining, is we have to have these conversations with those closest to us. None of us can no longer get a pass to engage in the self-destruction, whether it be everybody want to point, to the younger folks in the streets that are still engaged in killing each other, pimping each other, pushing dope on each other. We now see those who are more wiser, elder, powerful positions who are helping to push this agenda and hypocritically, trying to act like they straddled the fence. You got to know the difference between coons straddling the fence and spooks who are sitting by the door. Spooks who are sitting by the door are going to do everything, even if it ultimately means turning against they direct connection to the power. Spooks sitting by the door are going to do what's necessary. Coons straddling the fence are going to keep trying to sell you the bullshit, while ultimately they are dependent on those white finances that they're getting. A lot of these Negroes within the black political and so-called social justice efforts, they push racism while they are most definitely engaged in classism amongst their own. Carrying out the same shit that they're calling out white folks, for pushing the racist agenda, but they're carrying out a classist agenda against us that, again, ultimately has resulted in us either dying through neglect, being displaced through neglect, or fucking police still shooting us down. This whole fucking CSU betrayal. We've stood in solidarity with a lot of the fights on the CSU campuses with the California Faculty Association, but now we see these folks are betraying us in our fight for reparations. They're signing on support of Akila Weber's bullshit bills. They're supporting Isaac and pushing this bullshit as AB7 as opposed to actually pushing some real reparations, and possibly even have helped him now to try to justify this AB7 bullshit. He's saying, they didn't attach money because they had planned on going into the courts to fight this again. You don't go into a fight with the lowest fucking thing on the motherfucking agenda. You go in there with everything on the top, and then if negotiations are necessary, you allow that shit to be broken down. One of the things that's sickening about Isaac and all of them is bragging, the numbers they won by, but again, it's really not acknowledging the numbers that don't even go to the fucking poll because you're a fucking option. The many folks that are not even showing up to vote because you are a fucking option. But I think one of the things a lot of our folks too often miscalculate is how much military training we do have in our communities, how many of us are actually raised. I was raised in a household initially in Indiana, but as I relocated to California in 1980, many of the households I came up with, whether it was just a mom or a mom and a dad, they were gun owners. And they were not shy in talking to us about, you know, what we needed to do when shit needed to happen. But gangs, as folks attempt to dismiss, and the thing they have really attempted and effectively done with a lot of our black gangs to prevent us from the same growth that we've seen with Italian mafias and Jewish mafias and Armenian mafias and Russian mafias is to grow into more political strength and to grow into more economic strength. That's why we see them come down so hard and take out our leadership. I was sharing earlier how they destabilize us. They make sure no drug kingpin stays there for so long. They only stay there for so long based off of who's controlling them. If the person they connected to goes down, they go down. Sometimes that person who they connected to, for whatever reason, will decide to take them down, to replace them, to keep us unstable. So, as the brother was pointing out to me, these podcasts that are saying fuck Democrats and Republicans and COBC and all these motherfuckers, they're getting way more engagement than the Negroes who are still pushing this same insane ass song. So I love most of y'all. Those of y'all that come on my videos spying and shit, fuck y'all. Unfortunately, you don't have enough intelligence to comprehend you are taking part in your own fucking demise, you fucking idiots. You know, as much as y'all plot and wish and pray for shit to happen to me, your dumb, retarded, cancerous ass doesn't comprehend you are the cause of your own fucking demise, you fucking idiot. CJ released the names of many of the Negro organizations who supported these bills denying us real reparations, y'all. They're primarily looking at the ones who supported Kilo Weber's bills, SB 437. SB means Senate Bill 437, which is calling for a 3 to 5 year study of our situation as opposed to calling for immediate cash payments. And again, part of that is knowing in 3 to 5 years, our population in LA, California will be further decreased. There will be more non-black people looking to run for more of these seats. There will be more non-black people voting for these seats. So basically what these assholes, these idiots have done is put us into a position where either way we go, we're looking at getting isolated from any real political voice. Bottom line. And what has really supported these idiots in their efforts, in addition to the Negro Church, or a lot of these organizations, and at the top of the list, you see once again the NAA motherfucking CP. Please research the origins of that bullshit and the people who are involved in the origins of it. You'll see W.E.B. Du Bois, and he's one of the idiot assholes who helped to take down Marcus Garvey. A lot of folks try to say in his later years how he came to, and then he started to espouse a lot of the same shit Garvey had espoused. But again, that's the same cancerous bullshit these hating ass motherfuckers want to take down or silence the real voices amongst us, and then position themselves as being true leadership when they don't have the true fucking fighting spirit. Bottom line, they can talk and whoop all that shit, but see how they hoop and holler the moment any fucking thing happens. They not out here dealing with the fucking bullets. They not out here dealing with the fucking violence. But they want to get up and espouse all of that shit. And we're seeing, just like my brother Boona pointed out with their leader in fucking Senegal, he was talking that same shit like Ibrahim Traore and all that about get the French out, but now he's welcoming the French right the fuck back in. And that's what I'm saying. All of these seemingly third options, that's all they're doing. They're attempting to walk us off of maybe one of the other plantation, or maybe they're just a proxy for either of those plantations, but they most definitely are looking to walk us into a compliance that will continue to finance them white dollars. But CJ put out a list of these Negro organizations. So this year, in addition to making sure the COBC is held accountable, study that list, y'all. And it's disgraceful. Some of them got names like California Black Power Network, but yet they support a bill that was suggesting to put our agency in the Department of Justice. When the fuck has aligning with the Department of Justice ever been Black Power? When has Black Power never acknowledged that land is the primary basis of our fight, and the position we're in, most of us, to attain land, one, have to become militarily strong enough, or two, is getting a true return on what has been stolen from us from this country and what we have invested in this country. The list of these organizations, same way y'all been helping us find out when the COBC is speaking, now we need to know when and where these organizations are having. And that includes, you saw on that list, there are some non-black entities, which is the bullshit. There were a couple Asian this and that on there. Some Jewish organizations. But all of these folks have to be removed from blocking us.